I'm posting this on a throwaway as my main account is very identifying and I just need to vent. I'm feeling sad, alone, and terrified. My head hurts. My heart hurts. I feel so alone and I don't know where to turn. I just spent the night in my car last night. I couldn't sleep through crying, trying to stay warm enough and thinking that somebody was going to suddenly appear at the windows. I've been trying to find a place to park up so I can try to sleep today. And I found a place, but I can't rest. I feel so empty and scared. I don't want to go into much detail here, but our daughter passed away very suddenly last year. My husband and I both got help and have tried to work through it together, but his drinking has been getting more and more out of control. It got to a point where he started to try to hide it, but it was making his behavior worse. I had a breakdown 2 months after our daughter passed, and I hadn't been working since. I had quite a bit put away in savings and some money I inherited, so I was using that to contribute at home while I tried to get myself back in better health. In January, my husband started on his sobriety journey, but his business started to suffer. There were some difficulties through the lockdowns, and we both worked hard to make sure the business made it through. He took out a loan earlier this year, and I gave him the rest of my savings and started back at work. Things were going well with the business and as well as they could have been for us until he relapsed last month and was hiding it from me. I lost my job 2 weeks ago and have been looking for work since. It's been stressful, but nothing we couldn't have managed. Yesterday, I got home and my husband was already home and was very drunk. It was a very loud and out of control kind of state he was in, and he was slamming around the house saying he was looking for something. I couldn't get much sense out of him and he was really irate. I didn't really know what to do, and when I tried to ask if he was okay, he got in my face and was quite aggressive with me. He randomly started to throw accusations at me, accusing me of all kinds of things that I have no idea where any of it came from. I was scared at that point and didn't want to be in the house with him. I hadn't seen him that angry before, and I think it was a buildup of grief that had come spilling out. But I felt scared. I put my shoes and coat on and told him I was going to head out for a while. That's when he snapped and accused me of trying to leave him. It all happened very suddenly, but he charged at me and got hold of my arm and threw me onto the floor and pulled me down the hallway. At some point of him drunkenly shouting about him, not letting me leave him, he suddenly stopped and told me he was going to give me a reason to hate him so much. He stormed off into the front room, took the urn with our daughter in, and headed to the downstairs toilet. I got up and tried to stop him from doing whatever he was able to do. When he went towards the toilet, I was trying to stop him and was pleading with him not to. He shoved me quite hard and I fell. He poured all of the ashes into the toilet and threw her urn at me, hitting my leg. He then started yelling at me to get out before he killed me. I was shaking and felt like I was frozen, but I managed to get up and run to the front door. I took my keys and my handbag and drove off. I had no idea where to go, so I parked up in a quiet area and just cried. I have done practically nothing but cry since. I have no family around and no friends that I can turn to who are close by. I was sick earlier on, but I've managed to keep some water down. I thankfully keep a supply of it in the car. I don't know what to do. I switched my phone off all night in case he tried to contact me. I didn't want to hear from him. He's tried to call me today, but I can't be around him while he is drinking again. I can't let him keep taking his anger out on me like this. I feel like it's all my fault. Everything. I just needed to vent. I'm exhausted of feeling like this. Relevant comments or report this to the police without trying to sound dismissive. I don't think the police will really care. They aren't responding to a lot more serious crimes. I have no proof of his treats to kill. It would be my word against his on what happened last night, and I'm worried that if they go to speak to him that he will destroy any of her things that are in the house out of spite. I have never felt so alone and unsure of what to do. Do you have any family or trusted friends to help you get your stuff? I don't have anybody around I can turn to for help, or a place I could take her belongings if I was to get them. I will figure something out over the weekend, and then I can always ask the police got assistance in safely getting our belongings. I've got a gift card for a coffee place, and it's open. until 10 p.m., so I'll be able to charge my phone, power bank, and have somewhere safe to do some Googling and any calls that I need to do today. I'm sure I'll be able to sort something out. Family. It's a long story, but to shorten it as much as possible, I grew up in the care system. It was chaotic, and I was moved around so much that I didn't even form a family of my own. I struggled to form any friendships. I met my husband while we were both young, and it's pretty much just been us and the odd connection to refs and noise. Friendship over the years. Any other friends or couples, and I don't feel like I can reach out to them about this. I'm going to search on where I can contact for some help. I know a lot of places go on referrals. I had my brother, but he passed away 5 years ago. He wasn't married, had no children, and left everything to me. He left me alone in the world in terms of family. 18 hours later, Hope reports. I haven't gone back. I can't be around him after this. He has had anger issues when drinking before, but not anything as extreme as on Thursday. I'm still in disbelief at what he has done. I've submitted a report on the Greater Manchester Police website, and I'm just waiting for it to be looked at and to hear back. Soup responds to a comment telling her to take pictures and commiserating. Somebody messaged me and told me to take photos while the bruises are fresh. He's really hurt my arm and my leg. My face is bruised on one side. I know once he sobers up, he will be horrified at what he has done. If what he did with our daughter's ashes doesn't shock him into getting himself help, don't know what will. I worry that it will just make him continue in a bad cycle. I know he will be upset at knowing what he has done to me. He's so gentle when he's sober. I can't be there for him again if he decides he wants to get help. Not after what he has done. I am devastated. I can't bring her back, and I can't undo what he did on Thursday. I feel like I failed her twice. I'm sorry you are having to face life without your dad. There's just no preparing for death and grief, no matter how natural any of it is meant to be. It's really hard. I found keeping busy really helped too. We both went through some intense therapy separately and together. He joined a support group for grieving dads, and it really helped him in a lot of ways. There was still clearly a lot of pain that he was struggling with. That's when he was turning to alcohol. I joined a support group for grieving moms, and everybody was lovely, but I found the sadness to be too heavy. Even in the lighter conversations and activities, there was a heaviness in the air. I found yoga, meditation, and some peaceful walks to be really helpful. I found a quiet spot where it was just me and the nature around me. I was alone with my thoughts and could let it all out and cry. Or I would just listen to everything around me and find some peace. We did a lot of walks together, and I know it helped him to be able to let out some of his emotions, away from home and just away from things. He started to get more help when he sentenced sober. I just wish he had stuck with it. I know addiction is complex and people relapse and withdraw from support, and I've tried to be there for him, but I can't do it again. Not after what he did on Thursday. It can't be undone. I hope he gets the help he needs. I know I'm hoping to have to start seeing somebody again. I don't even know for to process what has happened. Update. I'm not sure if I'm breaking any rules by posting an update. Thank you to everybody who reached out to me and commented on my original post. I didn't mean to leave any of you worrying. I deleted everything not long after taking an overdose. I planned on trying again as soon as I got out of hospital. I'm still here though, and I was feeling extremely overwhelmed. I wanted to let you all know that I'm safe and I didn't go back. I can't get into everything that has gone on with my husband, as the police have been involved, and some of it is ongoing. I can say that he was playing games and acted calm and collected with them at first, trying to make out that he hadn't done anything wrong and that it was me with the problem. He told them that I was welcome home at any time. A couple of things happened, and after I received some very threatening voice messages and texts from him, he reported my phone as stolen and had me cut off. He was trying to make me go home and have nowhere else to turn to. After some intervention and run-ins with the police, He offered to leave the house for a couple of days a few weeks ago. I was to go there with some help, allowing me to get my belongings and our daughter's things. Nobody asked him to leave. He offered. I arrived there, along with some help, to find that he had destroyed all of my things. When I say all of my things, I mean everything that I owned. And that was in that house. I can't even imagine how long it must have taken him. He sliced my shoes and had gone over some of them in black marker. Same with my handbags. He cut up my clothes. All of my products were all over the bathroom, which he had smashed up. There were items of my clothes in the bath, and he had poured bleach all over them, as well as my cosmetics, all destroyed and mixed in. He had smashed up broken my other belongings. He had trashed the house, including our daughter's room. The only things I couldn't find were some of her things he had taken with him. I don't really remember much of being in the house. I suppose I kind of went numb once I realized what he had done and saw our daughter's room. The photos of it all are awful. He has claimed he doesn't remember doing any of it. He then put it down to a drunken rage. After doing it, he went straight over to his parents, knowing what was coming, and pleaded with them for help. They arranged for him to get some private help. I mentioned in my post about his issues with alcohol. After our daughter passed away, we both got help, together and separately. His drinking got out of control, and to a point where he was trying to hide it, which made him even worse. I know he has been hurting, but it got to a point where it was almost impossible to have a reasonable conversation with him. After talking through things with various professionals, I really realize now too that there was a lot of control going on, financial and emotional. And no matter how much he was hurting, I know it doesn't excuse his behavior. However much I have felt for him and wanted him to get all of the help he needs, I can't see past what he did with our daughter's ashes. I felt like I lost her all over again, and I felt like I'd somehow failed her again. His parents did reach out and promise they would get back the things of our daughters that he took. I haven't heard from them since. I'm sure it isn't easy for them.